welcome to part 3 in this series of the Silvertone 698 guitar restoration. In part 1, I removed the neck. In part 2, I realized I may not have had to remove the neck, but started some finish repairs. If you missed either of those videos, the links will be in the description below. In this part, I'll be magically completing the finish repairs, adding a new bolt and insert for the neck, and doing the final steps before I call this one done. Hope you enjoy this video, and do that like and subscribe thing, if you are so inclined. Just to get you up to speed with this finish repair, I started off by painting all the raw wood black, adding poly, sanding, adding more poly, sanding, adding more poly, sanding, rinse and repeat, basically 50,000 times, till I finally got it up to a point where I could polish it out and buff it by hand. And it ended up looking pretty good, I think. For a 59-year-old guitar, not bad. Here I've got this gap in the binding, and I'm going to mix up a little paste. I have this piece of binding that I'm going to chop up in little pieces and mix it up with some acetone, let it dissolve, and create a paste that I can fill in that gap and hopefully build that up to a point where I can sand it back and finish it off nicely. We'll see how this comes out. Now it's time to put this steel insert. I gotta plug this hole first. I can't put it in the same location as the old bolt because it's gonna be too close to the edge. So I'm gonna probably put it about here or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this hole. I'm gonna drill for this insert here. Okay, I'm going to drill a hole in the block first, and I'm going to transfer this hole into the heel. Okay, now I've got the hole drilled into the block. I'm going to go ahead, insert the neck into the joint, get that lined up. And I've got a pencil that I just sanded it down to exactly 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to transfer that through the hole onto the heel. You can see that. I'm going to take this over to my drill press and drill this out for an insert. Okay, I think I've shown this little setup before. Here I'm in my drill press, and I've got the bottom of the base cut out so I can fit a neck in it, and so I got it clamped to this cradle. I could just drill this by hand, but I'll show you why I do this in a minute. Let me drill this hole and then I'll show you. Hold on. Now here I have the insert, and I've got a 1/4-20 threaded rod and then 2 nuts tightened onto each other, and I have this screwed into the insert. I'm going to put this up into the chuck. I'm not going to turn on the drill press, I'm just going to use it to guide it down. Now I just walk this down, it goes in nice and perpendicular this way. And go the rest of the way with an Allen wrench. Yeah, it's nice and tight. I'm going to flood this with super glue. Great. Okay, now I'm ready to mount the neck, and I'm going to bolt it on. Because there's such a thick finish underneath this extension, I scored it, and I'm going to mix up an epoxy to attach this. This is just going to be a straight bolt on. I'm not going to use any glue in the joint. I'm just going to bolt that on, and I'm going to epoxy down the fingerboard extension, and that should be fine. Okay, now super important. This is dry. Got to take those clamps off. Can't do anything with those in the way. Now I got to fit a new saddle in here. I've got this blank. This is bone. And the width is just about right. I just got to get the length and get the radius, and then I'll go ahead, fit it, and then I'll set the height once I get the strings on there. Now I need to do something about these frets. There's not a lot of clearance between the 0 fret and the 1st fret. They're almost the same height. And there are a lot of unlevel frets. I tried to level them up a little by hammering them in place, but that can only go so far. I'm going to give this a light level, recrown, and dress. I'll show you how I do that. So the first thing is take a file, and I just want to skate them over the frets and get a nice level up to about the 12th fret, 12th or 14th fret, right about up to the body. And then from the body back, I'm going to create a little bit of a fall away, if there isn't already one there. But I'm going to focus on these frets 1 through 14 and get them level first. Now I'm going to check them. I see I made contact with every fret. I'm just going to put a little mark on the high frets. And just the fret that, just the section of the fret, whether it's the front of the fret, the middle, or the the back. Now right at the body, of course, it's going to raise up there. That's kind of a given. And then from here, we're just going to have fall away, so that's okay. So now I can focus in these areas here that I have marked. There. Now I got no rock on those. I see a little bit of the pink is still there. I need to keep filing it until that goes away at least. There. 0 fret to the 2nd fret. There should be a gap over the 1st fret. It's a very tiny gap. I think that'll be okay. Let me show you what this looks like now. So now you can see I've got them all touched by the file. They're all level. But they're pretty rough. They got scratches in there. And there's no crown. It's pretty flat. So now I'm going to go ahead, maybe work the side bevel. Get a new surface on that. Do like a 45 chamfer on both sides, and then I'm going to go ahead and crown them. Now I'm going to go ahead and break these corners with a safe file. One edge is safe, so I can skate it on the fingerboard. It won't hurt it. Okay, now I'm going to go with this leveling beam. It's got different grit sandpapers on it. I'm going to start with 400 probably, because it's got some pretty deep scratches from the file. I'm going to go this way. And I'm going to also go at a diagonal, 45 degrees. Now I'm going to go to 600. Do the same thing. Now 1000. And then finally 1200. It's the finest one I have on this block. So now the top surface is smooth, but the sides that I crowned are still rough. I'm going to take 1000 grit sanding pad, and I'm going to run it this way. It also cleans up the fretboard, because this being rosewood, it's okay to run a pad over it. If it was maple finished, you don't want to do this. You want to tape it all off. Next time I'm going to go with 2000 and then 3000. Now I'm going to go with a little metal polishing compound. Just use a little fret protector for this so I don't buff the rosewood and give it a weird look. The
this, I want to buff the whole thing, but I'm just going to do the individual frets. Now the last thing is going to add a little lemon oil. So that's how I level and crown and finish off the frets. Now let's get back to a setup. Well, I got the saddle on here and I put a radius on it and I started to string it up and everything was going well, and then I heard pop and this happened. You see that crack? Goes through all the bridge pins. And it also goes right in there. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be stringing this up anytime soon until that gets fixed. So that's going to have to wait till the next video. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Like I said, do that like and subscribe thing. Make everybody happy. Stay tuned next week, where I guess I'm doing a little bridge repair. See ya.